Hello Facebook, it is me, Gary Weaving, the CEO and founder of Forgotten Veterans UK, but you know that already. So let's see if we can get a few numbers up. We're currently on a C2, we've got some quite vulnerable guys in that needed a lot of support and some time out and some prep. One of them's ended up in hospital because we felt that that was the best place for him, and my care support team went with him and have been looking after him at the hospital, but he'll be fine. It's nothing of great substance, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So, right, well, we got 16. Come on, let's keep bouncing them numbers. Let me know that you're here so I know who's there. It's lovely to see the faces. Right. So, okay, what has Forgotten Veterans been doing? Well, as you know, we don't muck about. When we decide to do something, we decide to do something. And when we do something, there's usually a poignant message in there somewhere. I'm always pushing the veteran agenda in everything that we do. Okay, so what have we done to mark World Suicide Day? Well, luckily for us, I have very good contacts in the press, and Meridian News have come down here today. And it was only decided, we were toying about with ideas, but the problem is to get them to confirm ahead that they will come is a really difficult thing to do because of what goes on around in the world and other stories. So we left it to the last minute. We had exactly what we wanted in mind and we knew what we were going to do. And we wanted to make a poignant message to show that the 57 veterans have lost their life to mental health and other reasons this year, whether it be PTSD, mental health, problems before the army, during the army, after the army. It doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, you know as well as I do, there is definitely a problem going on. And Johnny Mercer and the MOD seem to want to deny it to the hill. How they can deny that there's a problem when they haven't took any data to see if there's a problem says a lot for yourself, let's be honest. Okay, so last night we virtually worked through the night to create 57 silhouette soldiers standing to an attention and banging one up. It was quite a task. We had jigsawing, chiselling, gluing, painting. We had veterans painting each other. There was bits of wood stuck to people. We had the floodlights up. It was dark. It was windy. There's MDF dust everywhere. We went at it for about 8 solid hours. 8 hours. And there was, how many of us? About 10 of us. About 10 of us went at it for 8 hours. So we made all these silhouettes. And what we did is we put a candle by each one and we dressed the casement with various flags and a big Forgotten Veterans flag that's been donated to us, an 8-foot jobby. And we were interviewed. We were brought in a bagpipe player to give a salute. And I was interviewed and I laid a few, well, you know what I'm like. Give me half a chance and I will say my mind. And that was important. Shelley Taylor, did you say banging one out? We were banging something out last night, but I don't know if it was one, my love, I'll be honest. So we actually made 57 of these silhouettes and put them all out on the floor in front of the flag. We had a bagpipe player playing Amazing Grace, and we give a salute and we give an interview. And the news have absolutely loved it. They were very, very impressed in what we did. And I did make it quite clear. How can the government say there is not a problem when they haven't counted the deaths? We're the ones that have counted the deaths and we're the ones dealing with the problem. The people's parents, their families, their loved ones, their friends, the other veterans, other serving. We're the ones that are dealing with the problem. Why do they want to deny? Why are they so insistent to deny there is this problem? I'll tell you why. Quite simple. Because it's much bigger than anyone actually realises. And they don't want us counting because it will show that there is a very massive lack of support during serving for mental health and certainly afterwards. And we are in such a manning crisis, they do not want to put any more parents off letting little Johnny join the army. You know, that's the problem. If we don't get the statistics, we don't get the data, we can't analyse the data, we can't see if there's trends in places, and we can't act on it. And we've all seen Johnny Mercer, you know, brushing his hair and trying to get on game shows and stuff. And he is adamant that there is not a problem in our community. Well, unfortunately, Johnny, I respect you, but there clearly is. And the whole world can see it. And the more you deny it, the more you make yourself look like a career politician that's only in it for yourself. That's the problem. You know, we've put you as our veteran minister because we believe that you are going to fight for us. But at the moment, we don't see much fighting. You know, Ireland hasn't been resolved. You know, everything pretty much that was promised in the Conservative mandate has yet to happen. It's quite simple. So if you like your position, Johnny, and you don't want us all protesting and we don't want us all calling for you to be removed, how about you start working with the veterans? You said you want to see different things. You said you want you hear nothing but the same old stuff. Well, we're doing somewhere different. We're saving lives. We're actually dealing with the problem. And we've invited you several times, Johnny. So if you care about our community that much, you don't have to like me, my friend. That doesn't come into it. Your personal feelings of me should not come into it. But if you want to help us and you want to look into this and you want to get to a resolve that we can slow down these suicides, then why are you not in that state car and down here? Come down here and listen to the veterans. Come down here and listen to what we're doing to try and solve it. There's a lot of gobbing off on Facebook. A lot. And let's be honest, that's all it is gobbing off. Oh, you know, this is unacceptable, that's unacceptable. You've got a very valid point, mate, but what have you done about it? You know, just doing a live feed and singing your own praises and slagging off MPs is not going to change anything. At least I talk with substance. At least I talk with experience. At least I have, you know, over 700 veterans that have been here to actually get the experience and the, you know, the data and listen to them ourselves. Why is it NHS England are listening to me, but our own veteran minister won't? You know, come down here if you care and come and listen to what we're doing and come and see some of the veterans and listen to the stories. We're all different. We're from different conflicts, different groups, different ages, different corps, different services, but there is an underlying problem going between us all. And unless you listen to the people that you're meant to help, you are never, ever going to work out what to do. Right, let's have a little scroll through this. I didn't want it to turn into a rant, but, you know, sometimes it is what it is. So, what we got? Derek Hunt, the lovely Derek Hunt. Derek Hunt was Nathan Hunt's father, so this will pointiate with him. Christine Harmer, Roger Philpott, Dale Stiles, Faye, Christine, Tim, Ryan. Right, let's see. Hello. Love the display. Right, Simone K. Bowerman. Love the display of the silhouettes you've done of the lost veterans. Very touching. All you have done so well. Let's hope this gets the attention of those who need to see it and some more help out there and the facilities come about from it. Excellent. Well put. And thank you very much for that, Simone. You are right. Again, just gobbing off about things isn't enough. I gob off about things because I've got the experience and the input and the hard work behind it to know what I'm talking about. This isn't an ego thing. This is not the Gaz Weaving show. I only do live feeds when I've got something prominent and important to tell you, you know, and it's about the charity, or it's about the community, or it's about a project that we're doing. Tony Kershaw. You should replace Johnny Mercer. Thank you, Christine. Maybe I should, eh? Saw the pics, mate, with the candles. Great job. Well, thank you, Wayne. Well, I decided the only way to really get an impact of what this is doing to our community would be to place 57 of these silhouettes. And when you stand there and you look upon it and you look down on it, what's poignant to me, and this is from someone that's had their own suicidal problems, is it's not just that one silhouette that's affected. It's their family, their children, their loved ones, their mum, their dad, their wife, their husbands. It's their friends, their unit, the people they served with, the people they work with. One suicide affects hundreds of people in a way. So when you times that by 57, and God knows how many more there are out there, because let's be honest, we're probably, sadly, only scraping the barrel at the moment to damn what the problem is. And that's where I think the issue is. This is where I think that the MOD are running away with from this as much as they can, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. So if we've counted 57 brave families that have come forward on Facebook to say my loved one has died, right? Actually, how big is the problem? And that is without the veterans that are drinking themselves to death, taking drugs. Oh, you know, the problem is huge. And unless we get the data, unless we get the knowledge behind us, we're never going to move forward. And yet, I'm aware, Jim, 57. Yes, I know. And, you know, so let's hope, okay? They came here today to do a small feature. They've been blown away by what they've seen so much. They've now turned this into a large feature. Are they going to let me say my piece? We will find out. Meridian are very good with me, all the news people are, because they know they're going to get an opinion. But will they edit out what I'm going to say? We will find out, you know. And you know what I'm like. I am not in this for me. I'm not really bothered if people like Johnny Mercer don't like me because I campaign and I work tirelessly for our community. The people that matter to me are you lovely people. That is what matters to me. The mums, the dads, the veterans struggling, you know. You should see some of the guys we've had here over the last couple of days. You should hear some of the stories that we've had over the last 18 months. You know, literally, we've had over 700 veterans come here in some form of crisis, needing some sort of help and support. So if you take a percentage of those, right, just a small percentage, and say maybe if we hadn't driven across the country to go and get them, or get them here and look after them, maybe they would have gone up as well. Would it have been 60, 65, 70, 80? Well, who knows? But unless the powers that be at the top start listening to the people on the ground, this is going to continue. So we must stand and we must keep going and we must keep campaigning and we must back it up with evidence and hard work. Just saying it isn't enough. You need to live it, see it, assess it, grade it, and then put it out like that. Right, let me slow down for a bit because I'm getting a bit excited. I'm quite tired. We worked through the night, late into the night to do these. We only got the nod at 6 o'clock last night that this will definitely be happening. and we were like busy bees out there. We had all the guys. And, I stood back last night, okay, because I tried to help a little, but I'm not great. And with my emphysema, I have to watch the dust. So I did what I usually did and pointed the finger and kept the orchestra in time. But actually, here's a prominent point of what we're trying to get across here. I stood back and I watched and I listened. And even though it was after 12 at night and they were out in the car park under floodlights, under car lights, sawing away, jigsawing, nibbling bits of MDF with their teeth, whatever it took, right? I stood back and I watched and I listened. And those guys working together like that was therapy by itself. Watching them work as a team, watching them work as one, watching them get work to a deadline. When I told them at 6 o'clock last night, we need to get all the boys in because it's about to go off and we're going to make loads of 60-odd statues, they went, "You're mad. You are absolutely crazy." But we did it. We proved that if we work together as a team to a deadline, it's still there. Those team working skills are still there. And that is therapy by itself. And however tired some of them were, and in pain because their ailments and diseases and false legs and stuff like that, afterwards we all stood together and the relief, the smile on their faces to say, we succeeded. We got together and we banged these out. Yeah, there's a bit of there's some funniness going along here because I said we were banging one out. If you lot have got potty minds, that is your problem. I am perfectly happy to say I was banging one out in the car park last night. Perfectly happy. Right, so let's have a look. You do a fantastic job, Gary, and your team. You are unbelievable. Thank you very much, Derek Self. That's really kind of you. Jack Berridge, we got a reunion on the Isle of Wight, Royal Hampshire Vets. Lovely, Jack. If you're looking for a charity you want to raise money for, come and see me. And you want every penny to go to the veterans, we're your man. Yes, Andy J. Tucker, we were working late, banging one out. Happy days. It never leaves us. This is fantastic. Alan Holmes, thank you. Nick Caswell, Veterans Contact Point in Nuneaton are here to help for veterans run by veterans. Thank you very much, Nick Caswell. It's great to hear that you've got a local support project going and you're doing well. Derek Hunt, let me read Derek Hunt. Derek Hunt is one of our biggest supporters. We've got a memorial piece to his son, Nathan Hunt, and anyone that is confused what that name is, that was the bloke that was Prince Harry's friend and served with in Afghan. He was a Royal Engineer and he worked with those guys. So Derek Hunt is a big fan of us. Let's see what he's actually got to say. Derek Hunt, we need a total cumulative deaths to get the real picture, not just the years, but the years gone by that we know of. It will shock people. There we are. That is the problem, guys. I think the MOD are running away because they don't want the scale of the problem to be there. Because if we've counted 57, and that's 57 brave families that have come forward and stated they want to they want to tell us their loved ones have gone, could you imagine how big the problem is? Can you actually imagine how many veterans are actually killing themselves? Thank you, Mark, from Meridian. Bye, mate.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you again soon.
Indeed.
All the best. That's Meridian now leaving. Lovely fella. Was blown away by what we did. I hope you had a well-deserved sausage. Sausage. Yes, there was sausage on the menu, as usual. Andrew Bannister, great work, Gary and team. Let's have a little... we only started collecting the data in late 2017. Prior to that, there is no record of veterans' deaths, sadly. Yep, and you are highly regarded, Jim Wild, for doing what you do and counting the deaths that you've had. And you were the one person, and we were doing the one thing the MOD did not want us to do for 1 second. Because there's the problem. We've used social media to communicate, to talk to build crews, to put together groups, to protest, to march, to raise the problems for veterans. You know, Facebook, if the MOD could squash Facebook and get rid of it, they'd do it tomorrow. Because there's the problem. Veterans are starting to talk to veterans. Statistics are starting to get shared. Different areas are talking to different areas. And this is the only way that we do it, you know? I'm known to be a veteran campaigner as much as I am a CEO, but at least I back it up with substance and experience. There's the good thing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read some of these, and you know what some of this lot are like. They're quite childish. Not me, I'm full maturity. But they're writing silly things. So if you're reading it, have a little chuckle, but I'm not going to read it. Digger says, congratulations, sorry couldn't be there. Digger, get well soon. We know you're not well. You ain't got no legs, which makes it worse. But at least you don't have to take as much Benylin as a full person. And some people might think that's outrageous, but me and Digger are fine. Kevin Robert Clements, great stuff to all concerned. Well done. I'm sure the finale was really satisfying and very therapeutic. Yes, it is. So, Jim Wild again, there was 76 in 2018 and 85 in 2019. So are we going to break that point? Well, let's hope we certainly don't. But looking at the data, looking at the way this is trending, I believe watching some of Jim's stuff that actually we are at a higher point than last year and the year before. So where are we going to end up with this? Who knows? Who knows? Right, I'm just trying to read some of this. Some of it I can say, some of it I can't. The reality is what people have got to understand is we're not just a Facebook group. We are a national charity. And yes, my trustees give me a lot of leeway, but they do get upset occasionally if I say the wrong thing. And however much you might have a very valuable point, what I can say and what I can agree with on a public forum is sometimes different to what I think behind the scenes. I do have a set of nuts on me, I do use it, but I've also got common sense. I've worked too hard, and so has everybody else on this charity, to blow it away with one wrong comment, you know. And that's, you know, the risk of that happening with me on the firm's quite difficult. Right, let's have a look at this. Right, Nick Caswell, MOD keep their heads above water just. Still doesn't justify the suicides. Implement more with turnaround from military to civilian. You have a duty of care considering they have served for their country. Exactly, and that was my point today. One of the things I said in the interview was, if we left 57 dying soldiers on the battlefield, there would be an absolute outcry and outrage. So why is it now I've come home and took my berry off, now I'm not worth anything? My oath of allegiance was to the Queen and country for life, for absolute life. And why am I now not worth what that man in a beret is? It's wrong, and that is what must change. We must start to put our veterans on more of a pedestal, like Canada and America. We must, you know. That is the way forward. If we want bright, young, intelligent people to join the army and to do our bidding, then we must convince the parents that when they leave, they will be looked after. They'll be housed, they'll be given mental health, they'll be hospitalised, they'll be given the best possible treatment. Because the reality is, serving And going to war is one thing, but what clearly seems to be happening is a lot come home and then cannot deal with it, you know? So why are they still not followed through? Why are they still not cared for? This is what must happen, and it's the only way. Maria Hunt, this is Nathan's mum. Lovely Maria, so proud of you, Gary. I think you are an angel on earth. Oh, bless you. Michael O'Keefe. Hi Gary, as usual, you're doing a fantastic job. Wish I had known you were on the project. I would have come down to help see you, to see you. Well, you're welcome down here anytime, Michael. You know that. Okay, Jim Wild. He's come back. Come back and said, we're actually at this point this year, we are 9 ahead of last year. Alan Ward, too much shippers. I don't know if that's whether that's a right. I'm not going to go on for much longer, but my phone is starting to run out, so I'm just going to plug it in. All right, sorry if I'm a bit shaky, but I do twitch a little bit, especially when I'm tired. Okay, let's read another one. This one's a poignant one. My last partner took her own life in January this year because she could not get over her brother taking his life, who was RAF and then police officer, so it spreads wider. Well, you know, sorry to hear that, Nick, and, you know, that was exactly my point. One suicide impacts a family for life. You know, one of my first Twitter followers back in 2016, when I just exploded onto social media, because actually Forgotten Veterans started on Twitter and people don't realise that. And one of the first people to follow me was a woman whose son had killed himself due to PTSD. And she spent hours on the phone with me over about a 3-week period, you know, well into the night, explaining to me how it had affected them, how it had left a wake of devastation, how it's going to leave a legacy of pain. Some people say suicide selfish. Well, I beg to differ there, because I was so mentally ill. I was so mentally ill at one stage. You know, I'd convinced myself that the greatest sign of love I could show my family was to end them of me. That's how unwell I am. And people see this amazing confidence and this, you know, sense of humour and this amazing charity and so much hard work. But that actually shows us even more how unwell I was and how bad things did get and how lonely and desperate they were. You know, and the fact that I did try for help several times but got pushed away, and then did what other veterans do, just give up asking for help. And then my depression and my PTSD and my mental health just spiraled more and more and more. And, you know, I was abusing all sorts of things, drugs, you know, subscription. I was so deeply unhappy, I just didn't care if tomorrow I didn't wake up. And that's so sad. And when I lived, and I was going to do it again, I was storing tablets, and I was going to drink a bottle of white spirit this time with it. And I was so close to doing it again and making sure I finished myself off, you know. And luckily for me, I had an epiphany moment. I had that day that just a twist of fate. And I found that purpose again. I found that drive. I found a reason to be on this earth, you know, and that was part of the problem. I didn't see a future for myself. All I could see was dark, negative things. Not the fact that I've got a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful children, a home, a car. I've got more than most veterans. But I was so unwell, I could not see that. And that's the sadness. So suicide, in my opinion, is not selfish. It's not selfish. It's a mental state. And there's many of them that actually kill themselves by accident. You know, that They want to like experience that feeling of harm to themselves, but don't really want to die. But they take it too far, and and it's suicide by proxy in some cases. Right. Let me see. Right, Phil Whittle. Hello, Phil. Hi, Gary. After seeing the fault up close and personal, I could see how valuable you and the volunteers are to the veterans. Well, thank you, Phil. That's really great. We are the only people in the country to do what we do. We do so much more than what people realise, with the house, with the online services, with the buddy scheme, with the hardship payments, with the boards that I'm on, with the military alliance, with the pilot scheme that I'm heavily involved with, and influencing in Portsmouth. This pilot scheme's going to get rolled across the whole of the UK, and they've basically based it on the buddy scheme and the quick reaction work that I've been doing for years. So it's so great to see that actually that little low-rank Gary, that little bald bloke from London, right, that was told you'd never be anything, was actually become an asset to society. And not only that, we are shaping the future of veteran care in this country. And that's phenomenal. And that's what keeps me alive. That's what keeps me going. That's what makes me get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and answer that phone. Because it could be me, or it could be you, or it could be your son or your daughter that needs someone like me right at that crucial time to say, you are not alone. Right, okay. I'm glad you came out of the other side. I can relate to you, as I attempted suicide at least 4 times between the age of 13 and 24. Well, sorry to hear that, but thank you for sharing that with me. Alf Appleby, well done, matey. After your confession, Gary, I'm sure that many veterans are more than grateful for you not taking your own life. You are an inspiration. Thank you for all you have done and have planned for the future. Thanks, Kev. That really means a lot. But let's be honest. I'm just a gobby person that gets to do the good bits. I'm the gobby person that gets to do the live feeds and go to Westminster and go and talk to the NHS. And, we only do what we do because there is a hell of a lot of people behind me doing exactly what I don't like or I can't do. So I'm just a small cog in a massive wheel. Right, I'm going to leave this for today. It's coming out on Meridian at 6 o'clock tonight. It's been upgraded to a full feature, I've been told. Okay. I know some of you won't be able to receive Meridian in other parts of the country, but we will get it onto Face Cheese as soon as we possibly can. Okay. Please watch, please share it. If you see it, share it. If you've been watching this, share it. Share it so other Garys out there, other Pauls, every other Marks, every other Seans, Shelleys, Emmas, they may say it and they may say, I'm going to go to Fort Cumberland. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to see what this place is all about. Okay? There's the difference. There was 57 this year, and I wish I got to them. I wish I could have got to them first. But the only way to get to them first is for you lot to keep sharing it. Put it on your pages. Put it in your groups. When you see someone struggling, DM them and go, have you looked at Fort Cumberland? They're not just talk and no trousers, they're actually doing it, I don't care where you go, whether you come here, whether you go to Icarus, whether you go to Help for Heroes, Combat Stress, PTSD resolution. I don't really care. If we need to signpost you out, we will. But as long as you ask for the help, asking for help is the hardest bit. And you can only look back from that. You can't change your past. You can only learn from it, assess it, and grow from it. But you can change your future. I was so ill, I was barely recognisable. I'm now an asset to society. I'm now an asset to my wife and family again. And now I'm an asset to myself. I'm Gaz Weaving. I'm the founder and the CEO of Forgotten Veterans UK. And I was put on this earth to help you guys. Take care and good night.